What is going on, everyone? Welcome back on Block Gems. Today I want to talk about Axie Infinity, and in particular I want to talk about Axie Infinity land plots as a form of investment. So guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It helps me a lot to keep the content coming. So let's dive right into it. We have seen that Axie Infinity is a game on the blockchain, in the blockchain space, that is printing absolutely insane numbers in terms of user adoption and also in terms of transaction volume. If we look at the stats for last month, for instance, we are in the neighborhood of 200 million US dollars just in terms of transaction volumes, in terms of Axies, the actual monsters that are traded between one person and another, and also other items, including land items. So you guys might know that I am particularly fond of investing into pieces of virtual world. So in this case, what we would be looking at on the market are plots of land in the Lunachan world, which is the map, the world where Axie Infinity takes place. And so there are many data points that I would like to share with you. Some of them are quantitative, some of them are qualitative, which might help us understand if we want to make the jump, if we want to take a closer look at these pieces of land as a form of an investment, as the hype is particularly high right now, and there might be many things that we want to consider before taking that decision. So first of all, one of the things that I want to state preliminarily is that not the entire map has been allocated already. So what do I mean by this? That if we go and look on the map in the marketplace land of the Axie Infinity website, we see that only the northwestern quadrant of the map has these gray dots here. Okay, this must be said, because these gray dots represent plots that are available for sale on the secondary market. And this is because all the other three quadrants are not available for sale. So there are only 16,600 more or less plots that are available. And there are different types of land. There is the savanna land in orange, the forest land in green, the Arctic land in white almost, Mystic is in this light blue, and Genesis in this deeper shade of blue. Now, what is interesting is that one of the things that should drive the price higher is the type of land. Indeed, if it's savanna, if it's forest, or if it's Arctic. And this is because it's closer to the center, but also because it contains different types of resources. And this is one of the things that I wanted to look at. So let's dive a little bit into the more quantitative data points around the plots of land that are available right now for sale in the market. So one of the things that I wanted to show you, first of all, is the types of land that are available and in which quantities. So there is the forest plots, Mystic plots, savanna plots, Arctic, and Genesis. Genesis has only 3 items available for sale right now in the secondary market, and forest is the most abundant one. Now, what we said before is that, at least in theory, the closer you are to the center, so the closer you are to the Genesis plot and that red square we saw in the center, the higher the price it should be. And this is in a way reflected in the prices. If we look at the price in USD amounts, the Genesis plots are those that have the highest amount in prices on average. Then you see the Mystic plot that have the second highest in terms of where the median stands. But in reality, I was expecting, when analyzing this market, when analyzing these data points, to see a stronger correlation between the type of land and the price of the land. Let me show this a little bit better by eliminating some of the stronger outliers. So if we cap the price at 50k. We say we just want to look at all the plots of land that are for sale at below 50k. What we see is that there are many mystic plots that are sold at around these prices. There are some mystic plots that are sold at 40k, more or less, as we can see here. And what we also see is that some savanna plots are sold for as high as some mystic plots. Also, some of the forest plots that are around the closest or the cheapest amount can be the same neighborhood of price of average savanna plots. So this correlation is there, but it's not so strong. And we can see it even better if we fit a line to the data. So what I did here was something very easy, actually. I decided to look at the distance that every single plot of land, so every one of these is a plot of land, every data point here, every circle here is a plot of land. And on the x-axis, I am plotting the distance from the center, from the origin of the map, the very, very center of the map. And then saying, let's plot against the price. So if there is a strong correlation, one might assume that the closer the plot of land to the center of the map, the higher the prices. And by and large, this is true. If we see this black line as it is fitting to the data point, we see that the more we move, let me just show you more closely. The more we go far away from the center, the lower the prices it gets, by and large. But I was expecting a stronger correlation. This is because there are in fact other variables that we have to consider. And which are these other variables? Other variables might be where the plot is located in relation to other types of land, not simply the one that the plot of land rests on, not only basically if that plot of land is forest or savanna, but also the types of land that is close to, and also if it is close to a road or a river. And this is a visual aid to understand this phenomenon. Here there is a prime example. This is a savanna plot that is at a crossroad, and it is close to two other different types of land. And we can see that it costs 3 to 4 times as much as some of the cheapest prices, as the cheapest pieces of land in a more generic savanna location. Of course, there are other instances of prices that are completely unjustified. For instance, this one at 40k for unknown reason. Also, this one, in my opinion, is completely unjustified. So there is not a single hard and fast rule that can allow us to evaluate why we should pay such and such for a certain amount for a given plot of land. Also, what must be stated is that these investments are extremely speculative, not only because we are in crypto land, so every investment is extremely speculative and it's extremely risky, but also because in this particular case, the land gameplay has not been released yet. So we do not know actually what a specific type of land will be useful for. We just can speculate about it because of what the team has been releasing with us, but the actual game has never been played yet, and I can show you why. If you look at the roadmap of Axie Infinity, we see that only in the Q4 of 2021, the alpha of the land gameplay will be released, and only in the first half of 2022, we will have the land gameplay. So only then we will know how valuable a piece of land and each piece of land really is, or at the very least, we will have a better understanding around prices for a given piece of land. Also, another super important piece of data that we have to evaluate if we want to invest is that not the entire map has been put up for sale yet, has not been allocated yet. This I've already said, but I cannot stress enough that 3/4 of the map are yet to be released. Why this is important? This is important because typically if I increase dramatically the supply of a given good or a given commodity from one day to the next, the amount of the price for the commodity, for the available commodity that was already on the market tends to go down. This is simple supply and demand. So there is more supply, the price will go down. And also, when will be released? I did a little bit of investigation. I looked a little bit on Reddit, and I would say that if this is correct, if this is accurate, or also there's also this thread that could be accurate, then we will not see land releases until next year. But what will happen until next year? If we would see the prices skyrocketing, maybe it could be interesting to jump in right now, right? Just to make a speculative investment, just to make a speculation around it. But this is not the type of thing that I personally would like to do, at least. Now, there's also another aspect that I want to discuss with you guys, and this is an aspect that revolves around the topic of concentration of this asset, concentration of this asset into the hands of very few owners. While I was exploring the assets available right now on the market, one of the things that I noticed is that the owners of all these clusters is always the same. So all this cluster is in the hands of one single owner, which is called D in this case. In this case, it's called SBV, and all this cluster is in their hands. Another owner was this Cheshire or Cheshire, I don't know. So I said, all right, maybe there is a pattern here. Maybe there is a lot of concentration in this market. Maybe very few people own a lot of land. And this is what I did. I looked into the Ronin blockchain data, which is not the Ethereum blockchain. It's a different blockchain, so I had to explore that other blockchain. And I wanted to look for a distribution that could tell me who owns what in which amounts. And this is how much land this address owns. So this single address owns 1,000 pieces of land. Then there is the next one that owns more than 862 pieces of land. And then we go down. So I said, this is a power law distribution. This is more Paretian in nature in terms of distribution. What does this mean in practice? This means that the top owners own the majority of the land. So next question is, how much land does the top 20% of the owners own? So if I look at the top 20% owners, how many plots of land do they own? And I arrived at an answer, and this is the answer. So the top 20% owners have almost 15,000 pieces out of 16,600 pieces, more or less. So we're talking about nearly 90% of the available supply, the available amount of land. This means that the concentration is extreme. And as the concentration is extreme, this market is very easy to manipulate. Now, this is the case for so many coins, for so many other investment types. So nothing to be scared of. And actually, I do like Axie Infinity a lot in terms of investment opportunity. I just don't think that this is the right moment, at least for me, to invest. Yes, the game is gaining a lot of traction. The game is gaining a huge amount of momentum and popularity and users and volume of transactions. But I would not feel like investing right now in the secondary market on a piece of land that is just pumped in price, at least in my opinion, because of the current hype and because of the scarce availability that there is right now. If I knew, which I do, that maybe at the beginning of next year, I would have the opportunity to buy land from the primary market and see the amount at which that will be sold and check an opportunity that could come at a lower price. So guys, I hope that this video has helped you. in any way in making your own research, in gathering all the data points that you need to assess potential investments. And if that is the case, please guys, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.